Here's the thing about throwing events. As you throw more and more events, people who like support you, super supporters, they're always gonna show up. So like this event was an example of that. I ended up having a little over 20 people show up because I had people that like really support what I got going on and also who I support, like we're friends. Throwing this event, even though there was almost no promotion going into it, I still had over 20 people show up, which is a testament to my past events. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Walk 12 podcast. If you're tuning in on YouTube or any of the podcast directories, make sure to do yourself one teeny tiny little favor and make sure to give us a follow because I don't want you to miss out on any of the amazing episodes I got coming out this year. Without further ado, you've been keeping up with my running series or my event throwing series. So far, I did my first event ever, the 900th podcast, and I did 2 happy hour networking events. Then I did my first AI in-person workshop. And so this episode is going to be a quick one. So for this event that I was throwing, it was going to be for my 200th episode. Now we're in 2024. This is in April 2024. Now, leading up to this point, the year has been super busy. So, in the beginning of the year, December of last year until January of this year, I was on a podcast hiatus because I was focusing on my launch and I was out the country. So, I wasn't really even focused on my podcast at all. And then from there in February, I was in a speaking competition. I started getting back into posting, my weekly episodes. And then in March, I went on my very first TV show, came back for a couple of days, and then went away to Miami for a speaking workshop in GrowthCon. So I was like super, super busy for the most part, back to back traveling. And on top of that, I was posting my weekly podcast episodes kind of inconsistently. And next thing you know, I was like, oh crap, like I'm about to hit 200 episodes and I don't have anything planned. I don't have anything put together. I was like, man, but I want to do something. Plus, I haven't thrown a single in person event in 2024 so far. So in my head, I'm like, all right, better to just put something together real quick and get some people to celebrate with me than to like hold off and not do anything. That way I can have a little bit of momentum, right? Because I knew I wanted to do an event in June for to celebrate 1 year of going all in my business. I was like, all right, this is gonna help me get a little bit of momentum to lead into June. So I ended up putting an event together, hosted at the KW office. All right, again, it was a free venue, didn't have to come out of pocket. Think about beer and wine again, and then got some pizzas, very light. I ended up having 20 people, 23 people get tickets. I charge, I think, $25 per ticket, $20 or $25 per ticket, something small. And honestly, it was very, very almost no promotion. I didn't make any posts on IG. Even with VIP guests, I barely did anything. I maybe started promoting like via text messages like a week before or like a couple days out. So almost no promotion. But here's the thing about throwing events, right? As you throw more and more events, people who like support you, your super supporters, they're always gonna show up. So like this event was an example of that. I ended up having a little over 20 people show up because I had people that like really support what I got going on and also who I support, like we're friends. Then throwing this event, even though there was almost no promotion going into it, I still had over 20 people show up, which is a testament to my past events. And so when you start throwing events, really do a good job of putting these events together, creating a space where people can connect and like make genuine connections and collaborate and just have a good time. Because then when you throw an event like I did with this one and there's almost no promo, you'll still have people show up. It won't never be an empty event. And so that was pretty much it. As I said, I didn't really come out of pocket anything. I said I paid for the beer and wine. The venue was free. I actually think I made maybe a couple like $100 or something like that on this event because I had people pay for tickets and the tickets paid for the beer and wine. So that was pretty much it. I got 3 entrepreneurs that here locally to interview. But the way I do these in-person podcast interviews is I do it in threes. So I find 3 people that I want to interview and have a dope conversation with, and then I ask them if they would be down to do an interview with me in front of like a live audience. And then once they say yeah, then what I'll do is I'll create like a little flyer, put their name on a flyer, and then I'll post that. But for this event, I didn't even do that, I don't think, because as I said, the event, I was just like all over the place with traveling and trying to get back in the swing of things. And then also in April, so after I came back from Miami, like 2 weeks after that, I ended up going to Puerto Rico So like I was like not really home at all leading up to this event, but it ended up still coming together nicely. I didn't have a videographer for that event, I don't think. What I ended up doing is I just had my editor take a couple of the clips that Brandon and some of the other people recorded from being at the event, and then turn that into a recap because I really didn't put anything together for this event. So that's all for this episode. I said I don't want to make it too long because this event I really didn't put much work in. In the next episode, we're really gonna get it's gonna be fun because that was my first event where I had to like be in charge of catering and alcohol and all this stuff. And so there was a lot of moving pieces and it ended up being a great event. And that was also my most expensive ticket price event. Or yeah, most expensive price ticket event. I don't know how to actually word it. So stay tuned for that one. I'm gonna cover everything I did to put that event together and how I put it together, the why behind the event, and how it ended up turning out. Ended up being an amazing event. So that's all for this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one.